Hello everybody and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac and we are back playing some Feed the Beast Horizons Daybreaker for episode 14. Now, last episode we were playing with immersive engineering, and at the end of last episode we set up this little guy down here, the diesel generator. So since the end of last episode, I've gone ahead and expanded the length of our basement here because this looks really cool. I think this diesel generator looks pretty awesome. The artwork and the design going into this thing looks absolutely fantastic. It's a really cool looking multi-block, and I thought it was a bit of a shame to have it kind of cooped up in the wall. These ones are kind of just squares. I mean, I would kind of like to see some more of the refinery, but I think this guy looks really, really awesome. So I went ahead and made this basement just a little bit bigger, and also I tried to move this basic energy cube back upstairs to where it was before, but for some reason the basic universal cables from Mekanism don't like to connect up to the generator here, so you can't pull things out of the generator using these basic universal cables. Instead, you have to have some kind of energy cube on top to pull the power out, and then you have to send the power from the energy cube round to whatever else you want to use. Also, bear in mind, this is one thing that I didn't know actually, because I don't really use these Mekanism energy cubes all that often, but these energy cubes actually have one output and a load of inputs. So if I kind of break this real quick, the generator should turn off, which is kind of nice because although I do love the way it looks and how much power it makes, the noise this thing creates is absolutely horrible. But anyway, if we go ahead and throw this thing down, all of these sides are inputs, and then this one side with like the yellow and black dashes and the red circle on it is the output. So make sure you got your cables connected to that. To do that, you kind of have to put it down like this. There we go. And that should start turning back on in a second. If we as soon as we start using power for something, this will turn back on and start making noise again. But that is not the focus of today's episode. Today, I want to start working with a completely different mod again, and that mod is RF tools. Now, the reason that I want to work with RF tools is not for the reason that you might be thinking, unless you're thinking what I'm thinking, which is that RF tools has a pretty cool way of storing items, because wow, our storage system right now is terrible. Like, it's not that bad, but it's terrible. If we look at all of these chests, it is just a complete mess after these first four. These ones are pretty good. We have our Ingots chest, which is working nicely, although it is now backed up. And I bet if we went to look over here, there would just be a ton of things backed up over here. There's even more stuff being processed. It's just a complete mess. And then all of the rest of the chests in this room are just full of random junk that is not in any way sorted at all. And that needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed quickly, because otherwise it takes us forever to find anything, and it takes us forever to craft stuff. So this is where RF Tools come to the rescue, because RF Tools has a little mechanic in it that's kind of like a mini applied energistics, if you will. It's not quite as advanced, and it's not quite as cool. I would like it more if we had applied energistics, but we don't, so we're going to work with what we've got, and RF Tools adds a really nifty little set of blocks. So the first thing that we're going to make is we're kind of going to jump straight in at the highest tier, because we have a lot of items and a lot of stuff, and we're not that like shy of resources. We've got a lot of stuff, so we're going to kind of jump in at the highest tier of RF Tools storage, and we're going to do that with a remote storage unit. This guy over here, remote storage. This thing is actually surprisingly easy to make once you've got ender pearls and nether quartz, which thanks to our condenser is something that we have quite a lot of, or the ability to get a lot of fairly easily. So this thing is simply some ender pearls, some nether quartz, a machine frame, which is a basic block from RF Tools that basically all machines need, which is just some iron, some lapis, and some golden nuggets, as well as a chest. All of that is actually fairly easy to get. So ender pearls, we have quite a few of. We should probably try and make a few more in the condenser, because we do want to make sure that we have some remaining for the rest of the stuff that we want to make today, and in the series as a whole, I guess. We'll take some gold nuggets, we'll grab ourselves some iron, and I think we should pretty much be good to go. We also need a chest, so let's grab, like, yeah, let's take all of those. That's fine. Okay, so if we combine all those up in here, and also let's go ahead and kind of get rid of most of this stuff for now. We don't really need much of it. Also, I had a few people telling me that there was an EMC value for steel from Quantum Flux, and there is, which is cool. I didn't know that. That's actually really useful. Thank you to everybody who pointed that out. So now, instead of going ahead and getting like a ton of coal and a ton of iron to make steel, because of the way the steel from Quantum Flux is made, it's made using 4 coal and 1 iron, which are all vanilla, like, Minecraft items that all have their own EMC. Basically, all it does is it just adds all those together and then gives steel an EMC of 384. So all we have to do from now on is just teach our book how to make steel and then make more of it that way, which is kind of useful, especially if we decide to make more generators, which we might well do in the future. For now, did we teach our system how to make quartz? we didn't. That could be a bit of an issue, although I'm not quite sure if we need that much. We definitely taught it how to make ender pearls, so we'll start off by making a few more of those, and that should be good. I don't think we need that much nether quartz. I don't think we have to teach it now. The only reason I'm not teaching it is because when I teach it something, I have to log off and log back on, which is a real pain in the backside. So instead, we're going to go ahead and do something like get ourselves some lapis from this chest over here. Thank you very much. All of those are going through again, which is lovely. And if we do something like this, boom, we get ourselves a machine frame. And then if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, because we need to make a chest. And if we make ourselves, let's say, 3 chests, and then do something like this. Oh, why did I do it? How many times am I going to make that mistake before I realize that shift clicking in Horizons breaks everything? Okay, let's try that again. Let's put our... Where's it gone? Oh, did we lose it? Did we lose it? Oh, I think we've lost our basic machine block. That's fine. Thankfully, these are not so hard to make. It worked with this one. We managed to shift click that in successfully without it crashing. Is it like that? It's not. It's like that, then with lapis at the top and bottom and iron all around. Okay, let's make one of those, and then it's 4 ender pearls. We'll put them all in by hand, and hopefully the world will not explode. There we go. Okay, this gets us a remote storage block, and this thing does require redstone flux, so for now, I actually think I might put this downstairs by the generator, because I think I want this to be the main item in our base that gets energy, because if this thing loses energy, we will not be able to access our stuff. So, question, can I put it, like, directly onto there? Does that work? It does. So now this thing will constantly be getting 1/3 of the power that comes out of the diesel generator, so it should almost always be powered, which is pretty cool. Now, what we need to do once we've got this is we're going to need a few more things. First of all, we're going to need some storage components. I think what they're called. Storage components, they're not. If I type in tier, because there are 3 different tiers of them, tier, let's say 3, they are called storage modules. So if we go ahead and type in storage modules, we will see that there are 3 tiers of storage modules. Now, in order to make the 3rd tier, which is the one we're going to make, we do in fact need to make the previous 2 tiers. And basically, what this does is this block here is going to allow us to store our items within this block, and we store them on one of these storage modules. Now, the normal storage module, tier 1, can support up to 100 stacks of items, so you can store up to 100 stacks within the first tier. Tier 2 can store up to 200 stacks, and Tier 3 can store up to 300 stacks. Like I said earlier, we're going to go straight in with the highest Tier 1 because we have a lot of stacks of stuff that we need to start storing away, and I would also like to be a little bit future-proof for the future. And you'll also notice that there are 4 slots over in this thing as well. There's kind of 4 little icons on the front there as well. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll get to these like other slots in a little bit. But the first 4 slots are for storage modules, so we need to make ourselves 3 Tier 3 modular storage units. Okay? That's what we need to do. So, if we take... Did I just throw that down there? What the heck? Let me go that back. Okay, so we need to make 3 of these. This could be pretty expensive, but I think we should be able to do it. So, in order to make 4 of these, we're just going to basically need 4 of all of the other ones. So that means we need a bunch of chests, a bunch of golden nuggets, quite a bit of nether quartz, actually. How much do we have? We have 15. If we need 4 of these, thankfully that's not more than we've got, so that's actually fine. So let's go ahead and do this and make ourselves a bunch more chests. 7 chests should be fine, although no, it's definitely not gonna be fine, but that's fine. We can work with that. In fact, we are gonna need quartz. So let me do a quick look in here, because again, sometimes when I log in, it also just loads up the wrong recipes entirely anyway, and has it done that? It has not, thankfully. So let's go ahead and quickly research quartz, and then I'm going to log back on, and I'll be back in a second. And now that we have the ability to duplicate quartz, let's go ahead and take a few stacks of ender pearls so we don't run out, throw the quartz in there, and that should get us quite a lot of stuff, especially because 1 ender pearl equals 4 quartz, so we should get actually quite a lot of that, which is pretty nice. And then, what else do we need? So, we can probably make quite a few of these, right? Let's try this. Let's put chests there. Remember, Isaac, do not shift-click. Things will just break. We need quartz there and there. And then we need redstone. Oh, it's iron there. And then redstone at the bottom. Is that it? With golden nuggets. Okay, and then we'll go boom, boom. And that should allow us to make a few of these. So, we only need 4 of these first tier ones. 1, 2, 3. Wait, do we need 3? 3 of those, let's make 3 of those. Yeah, no, we need 4. We need 4. Yeah, you can hold 4. So we'll take 4 of those. The next tier requires gold ingots, exact same thing basically, but with golden ingots instead of golden nuggets. And then the final one is basically blocks of gold instead of golden ingots. So it kind of just works up the gold tier. Thankfully, we've got quite a nice amount of gold, so we shouldn't really have any issues making any of this stuff. So let's go ahead and get rid of you and go ahead and make ourselves quite a few blocks of gold, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think, is what we need. We'll put you there, and then we'll go ahead and grab our last one, like so. And then if we do something like this, with the tier 1 variants in the middle, chests along the top, we are going to need a few more chests, but that's fine. Chests are fairly easy to come by. Let's go ahead and make as many of those as we can. And that's 3. We need 1 more. And we're also going to need a little bit more quartz. Look at that. We got loads of nether quartz. I love it. Okay. So, are we out of wood? We are kind of out of wood. We're not quite, but we are going to need some more before we finish this thing up. So, let's take a few of you. Let's turn all those into planks. Let's get ourselves some chests. Like so. And wood's not really an issue, so I'm not too bothered about making excess chests for the sake of convenience. And then if we put that there, you there, golden ingots either side, redstone in the middle, and nether quartz along the bottom, we get ourselves a tier 2 variant. And then if we do something like this, ooh, that's not right. We need blocks of quartz this time. Wow, okay. And then let's do that. Boom. We can always change those back if needs be. And then we'll put you there. We'll put you in the middle. Redstone, chest, blocks of gold. What have I done wrong? Oh, it's blocks of redstone as well. Wow, okay. So these things they're not that expensive in all fairness. Like, once you've got to the point where we are in the game, they're not ridiculously expensive, but they are still fairly expensive, especially if you're trying to make some of these tier 3 ones somewhat earlier in the game and you don't have the super amazingly overpowered mining lasers that we have. But thankfully we do. So we'll take 1, 2, 3, and 4 of those. Nice. So let's head on back downstairs and let's throw this guy, let's throw all 3 of these into this guy here. So we'll go and take them out of the project bench, and then we'll throw them into the remote storage block downstairs. Let's go ahead and grab 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's take these guys downstairs. So this is going to allow us to store stuff in there. Now, we can't actually access this without, and for some reason it doesn't like to put them in the normal slots by default, so you want to make sure they go in those 4 slots there. We can't access this without another item in our inventory, and that is this guy over here, the remote module, the storage module tablet, as well as a remote storage module. So we need both of these. And again, the recipes are actually fairly similar. There's a lot of iron, a lot of redstone, a lot of gold, and a lot of nether quartz. And I also saw at least 1 emerald in there as well. So let's grab 1 emerald. Are we missing anything else? Redstone, we might need a few, like maybe another stack of that, because we need quite a lot of blocks. And that looks like we're about good. We do need another chest, so we're going to get some uses out of all those chests that we made. Let's do something like this. You can go there. I was going to shift-click again, but that is not a good idea. It's recipes like this where they're a little bit weird that I have to kind of keep looking back and checking what the recipe is, which is where a shift-click would come in very nice indeed. But that gets us the remote storage module. And then finally, the last piece of the puzzle here is this guy, which is 3 blocks of redstone. And I was right, we did need a little bit more redstone than what we had, but that's fine. We'll take 1, 2, 3 blocks of redstone and put those there. And then finally, we need an emerald, a block of quartz, and golden nuggets. So golden nuggets around the top there, emerald in the center, and then block of quartz in the middle. And that gets us this guy here, the storage module. Now, the storage module needs redstone flux as well. And this is basically what's going to allow us to wirelessly access all of our stuff, which is another really cool point, by the way, about this. It lets us wirelessly access all of our stuff from basically anywhere. So we're going to charge this thing up. I have no idea how much redstone flux this thing can actually hold, but I'm fairly certain that it uses 100 redstone flux every time that we access something. So we got quite a lot of uses out of it, but we are going to have to charge this thing up every now and again to make sure that we can still access our stuff. The next thing we're going to do, once we've got this guy here, the storage modular tablet, is we're going to craft it up with this guy over here once we've linked this card, the remote storage module, to the remote storage block downstairs. So basically, all we got to do here is open this up. We got to link this to this, like so. You can see it's now linked. You only have to put it in one of these. I'm not quite sure why there's 4 slots, but if you just link it to this one, you can then access all 4 slots. And then if we just craft this and this together, and then we take it, we can now right-click on this and access everything that is within that block over there. So, for example, if I was to put some snowballs in, the snowballs are now in there. Now, if you look down here, there is a little C that says cycle to next storage module. So currently we're in the first one. So like this one here, you can see it says 1 out of 300 stacks is used up. And then if we go ahead and click cycle, come on, work with me. Do I have to do like, do I have to like do something else here? I don't think I do. It worked before letting me just cycle, and now it's not letting me do it, and it's not good. I don't know if there's a way that I can, like, unlink this? Okay, so it turns out you do actually have to go ahead and put it in every single one of these. Basically, if you've already gone ahead and crafted it, you can uncraft it, like so, and then all you have to do is just go 1, 2, 3, and 4, then you can put it back wherever you want. As long as it's been in all of them, if you then craft it together, and then look inside, come on, give me that stuff back. And we look inside now, you can see on the snowball one, we can click cycle to next storage unit. We're now in the second one, we could put something like stone in there, cycle again, we could put like that in there, cycle again, put lead in, and then we cycle again, and we're back at the snowballs. So now we have, I would have preferred it really if it was like all one, if we just had like one big 1200 stack page, but unfortunately that's not the way it works, and we have in fact like 4 300 stack pages. Now there is also a little bit of a GUI here. We can go ahead and we can show groups, we can sort on name, we can change the way they're shown. And if I was to go ahead, and let's say, I'm going to split these up into kind of the same way we've got them split up upstairs, so we'll probably have like one quadrant that's set for precious stuff, like redstone, lapis, ender pearls, stuff like that. We'll then have another one that's set to ingots, we'll have one that's set to blocks probably, and then one that's set to just like other junk that we can use. And what we'll do is we'll make the first one here like precious stuff. Now, one of the really cool things about this is we can access it from, I'm fairly certain, literally anywhere in the world. Like anywhere we are, there's no range on this thing, we can just access it, which is really cool. So let's put all this stuff in here. Now, you can see by default, let's, like, grab all of these things here. I'm not too sure if I'm going to put the mithril iron dust in because, of course, we do only have 300 stacks, which might not sound like a lot, but it's not that much, really. So we'll put all these things in for now. But then what we can do is we can, in fact, go ahead and change the way the items are shown to like this, which I think is a lot nicer. We don't really, if you want to know the names, I guess you could have it like this or like this. I personally like it like this. It's a much more condensed version of all the stuff. And then now all we have to do is just basically grab everything. Let me like kind of dump my current inventory into, let's just throw it in here for now. Let's just like put all you in there. And then let's like grab all of these ingots and do something like this. We'll switch over to number 2, and we'll take the stone out, because stone doesn't belong in number 2. Unfortunately, the spacebar left-click thing doesn't work. Usually, you can use spacebar and left-click to kind of dump a bunch of stuff into an inventory like I just did with that chest. Unfortunately, it doesn't work into here, but that's fine. Like, if I go and I go spacebar left-click, I can pull everything out at once, and usually you can do that to put everything into an inventory as well. Unfortunately, that doesn't work, but you can shift-click things in, so we can go ahead and kind of just fill all this up. And if you look there, we are about 50 stacks through, so about halfway through, not halfway through, we're about a sixth of the way through all of the stacks that we can have in here, which is kind of nice. It's got quite a lot of space in it. It's not like ridiculously short on space. And I guess what we should probably do now is grab our pipes. Did I have some pipes in my inventory? I think I did. Not, I guess. Let's have a look. Where are our pipes at? Are they? We got 21 there. We kind of need to just redirect all of our stuff from here that comes into this chest back down and now into this guy. So you can actually pump into this, which is really nice. Unfortunately, I think that's going to mean that we can't really control which one each thing goes in. There are some filters and some things that you can work with. If we go ahead and type in RF tools, there are a couple of things that you can use to kind of filter what goes in where, and I'm not quite sure. Like this here, there's a storage filter. I'm not quite sure if that can, oh, it says it there. Let's have a look. Let's play with this. So this thing requires a hopper, an iron, 2 redstone, and a paper. Now, I haven't looked at this, and I haven't tested this, so I have no idea how this is going to work. I would like it if we can make it so that only ingots go into that first one. So let's take, we've got some iron and some chests in here. We should be able to make a hopper fairly easily, like so. And then what was it, like iron and paper? We do need paper, which we, again, should be able to make fairly easily, because I'm pretty sure we've got quite a lot of sugarcane somewhere. Yes, we have a ton of sugarcane, which is actually really nice. And then I think it was just redstone, right? So we'll do that. Boom. Take some paper. And then, yeah, we'll do paper, hopper, iron. And if we look in here, we can grab ourselves some redstone, which is actually pretty nice. And then we can go boom, boom. All right, let's see. A storage filter. Can we apply this to something? I have no idea how this works. So we can go ahead and start filtering stuff. Like if I was to, let's grab like a piece of iron to start with here. Let's grab just iron, stick that there, and then see if we can filter this stuff. I add just iron to the filter. Now you're on a whitelist iron, so only iron can go through. How the heck does this work? Do I like put it in here somewhere? Somehow? Can I like craft these together to only allow iron? This filter module is for the modular storage block. the module can make sure that the storage block only accepts certain items of certain types. It looks like it's only for the modular storage block, not the remote storage. If we look at the modular storage block, let's see, storage block. That is this guy over here. This guy basically acts as a chest, but instead of just putting stuff into it, you put one of these into it, and then you can put stuff into there. So it looks like, unfortunately, we can't do that with this, and it looks like we might have to actually go ahead and just kind of let everything into there, which is a bit of a shame. It's going to make it a little bit harder to find stuff, but we can still search for things, which is pretty easy. And if you're wondering what's going on here, there's like some covers here. That's because I couldn't break the roof here to put down spruce blocks, because that is the grass right outside of our house. So that wasn't really an option. But let's just go ahead and try something like this. We are going to have some wires running across like the entire roof here, but I don't think it looks too terrible. And then we'd have a stick. I would like to maybe disconnect those. But then, if we just kind of disconnect whatever, the one going out. Let's have a look here. If we just break that, everything that comes through here should now go into that chest. If I put, like, iron in there, and then if we, for instance, just, like, dump pretty much everything into there, it should eventually make its way through. So let's have a look. Is stuff disappearing? Or is stuff just being left in there? Because I think it should end up in here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm fairly certain you can pipe into it. Also, let's grab a stick real quick. I was fairly certain until now. My certainty is leaving me. Let's have a look here. If we type in RF tools, is there a filter of some kind for putting things into the box? There could be. Although it doesn't really look like there's much more. I had a feeling it would just go straight into it, and it should be doing it fairly quickly, considering how many, considering there's not really anywhere it can go. I'm gonna go away and look at this, guys. I'll be back in a second. And a little while later, I couldn't figure out a way to pump items into the storage unit. So if you guys do know, please let me know in the comment section down below. But I have gone ahead and organized all of our stuff so that it is now contained within our storage tablet, which is now wirelessly accessing all of our storage disks down under here. And if we go ahead and take a look, we have one section that is full of all of our precious stuff. We have like ender pearls, lapis, redstone, coal, a little bit of this mithril. Most of it's still up in the chest, though, because I didn't want to fill up too many slots. We then have a set that is just ingots, ores, and dusts, basically all things that will eventually become ingots. We then have one that is for blocks, basically, just like, I was a bit unsure about cactus, but basically just blocks of any kind. And then finally, everything else, just all the other junk that we might need at some point. And that is pretty much everything. If we go and look in these chests now, we have almost all of our stuff now contained away within the system. A few things like tools I didn't want to take in because they take up a stack but only allow one item in, which I thought was a bit of a waste. Most of these chests are now empty. I could probably actually go ahead and sort most of those away. A lot of that stuff is just going to end up in junk, apart from maybe the ingots and the blocks, because of course the ingots will go in the ingots chest and the blocks will both go in the blocks chest. And other than that, we have some cobblestone, dirt, and gravel. I didn't quite put all of that away. We are going to have to keep an eye out on things like this chest and things like, I guess, the gems chest. We're going to have to every so often come through and kind of move a bunch of stuff back into the system, because as of right now, I don't know anywhere to pump things in there automatically. But with that, guys, I'm going to end this episode there. Also, did I tell you could type in this thing? We can also go ahead and search stuff. So like if I'm looking in the junk section, which might get pretty big, and I want to find, say, zombie brains, I can just go ahead and type in brains, and it will bring up those, which is pretty cool. But like I said, with that, guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, and I will see you guys next time.